Global crime syndicates are behind the illegal trade in ivory, rhino horn, and protected wildlife artifacts. A new report from a London research organization says to stop this trade, investigators need to track the money to bring the heads of the crime groups to justice. More from VOA senior analyst Jeffrey Young.
The illegal trade in wildlife products is a transnational organised crime, and we must not lose sight of that fact. Like drugs, like weapons, it's transnational, it's organised.
Tom Keating with the London-based Royal United Services Institute, RUSI, along with co-author Kathy Heinlein, spent the past 18 months following the money gained by killing elephants, rhinos, and other species in Africa to the shops of East Asia. Their new paper, Follow the Money, says that while prosecuting poachers and seizing wildlife artifacts are important, halting the trade requires tracking financial flows to identify the people at the top of the business.
Anything that moves across border, across thousands of miles between East Africa and Asia, will have a related financial flow. And so looking at the finances can be a very effective way of identifying the kingpins behind this business.
Interpol and the UN Environment Program have said this wildlife crime, ranging from killing for ivory, rhino horn, and animal skins to the taking of rare species for pets, is worth between $7 billion and $23 billion a year. However, the UN Office on Drugs and Crime says it's nearly impossible to quantify the trade because many African countries don't separately tally crimes against wildlife. With so much money on the line, the smuggler networks do not want conservationists and others getting in their way. Last month, Wayne Lauder, co-founder of the conservation group PAMS Foundation, was gunned down in Tanzania in what police say was a coordinated attack. Lauder was one of the people responsible for the arrest of Yang Fanlan, the so-called Ivory Queen, accused of running a multi-million-dollar ring smuggling ivory. The RUSI report says several African nations, including Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda, do not use their money laundering laws effectively in the fight against the wildlife trade. The report says that many law enforcement agencies don't go beyond catching poachers and confiscating the artifacts. RUSI's Keating says police should put pressure on low-level participants to reach the money people at the top of the chain.
Use his financial connections to determine who does he work for, who pays his legal bills, who pays his bail and his fine if he's sentenced. So there's much more that finance can do to help tackle this trade.
The RUSI report concludes that wildlife traffickers, like other criminals, depend on the ability to move money and to hide the proceeds of the business. It calls on states to change their money laundering laws to include prosecution for cash gained through wildlife crime. Jeffrey Young, VOA News.